Hi, this is Bob Grazer, and today I have with me Amy Havener. Amy, tell us a little bit about the project that we're doing here today.
Bob, today we're on the ADA ramp project, which is something we do before we resurface all of our city streets. And the ADA ramps are American with Disability Act, and it's a federal law that before we resurface any of our streets, we have to come in and replace or make sure the handicap ramps are up to ADA compliance, which has a whole nother set of rules in itself.
And we're also, during this portion of the work, we're actually doing catch basins as well. Today we're actually standing at the intersection of Ash and Franklin, and on the southwest corner we have what I referred to as the cow catcher catch basin. We found a cow in there, and it needed to be replaced. It was in bad condition. And some of these locations, well, actually anywhere that we're doing the work that we have a catch basin, we're replacing that according to the Underground Utilities Department. They gave us a list of things to review, make sure we put those on there, and we're taking care of those catch basins as well. And you're going to see those improvements happening on all the areas we're going to be resurfacing this year.
It just works out good, Bob. You'd mentioned the catch basin and underground utilities. What we do is we give them a list of streets, try to give it to them a year in advance, and then they go out and the underground utility department can inventory all their storm sewer and their manholes, sanitary as well, and they let us know if there's issues or there's things that need to be repaired, so we can try to lump all that into one project, which saves us from hopefully having to go back through after the street's resurfaced and tear everything up.
Some of the things I'd like to remind you a little bit, we actually, you're paying for that stormwater maintenance that we're doing right now, and that's some of the things we're trying to take care of. We're trying to get our infrastructure taken care of. We're trying to get them clean, try to get them redone, taken care of. It does say no dumping on there. We will also remember that we don't treat our stormwater. That goes straight to our rivers, so we want to make sure that we don't dump anything in our catch basins. It's really pretty important as well.
And Bob, the biggest thing that you'd mentioned is the ADA ramps, and I know I said there's a whole new set of rules that go with each ramp. I know you started this winter coming out here, so if the community saw this crazy guy out here in the winter, all winter, sorry Bob, I didn't mean to use the word crazy, but if you've seen this guy out here this winter laying everything out, what we have to do is come out ahead of time and figure out quantities so we know what to bid, and in order to do that, you actually have to almost come through and as if you're doing the construction before you even actually start construction. So Bob, do you want to give them a little bit of an idea of what it takes or what we're looking for as far as to make it compliant?
We have a list that we're actually given that was actually when it was actually surveyed in the beginning. I come through and take a look at each intersection that we have to put ramps on. We're only doing it in areas that would be protected. So there would be areas that we'd only have a stop sign. If we're not making a crossing there, we don't require a ramp there. So therefore, we have to put in a 12-to-1 slope, which is the ADA slope requirements, and then we have to have a 1/4-inch slope after that. So, but we have to make sure that it's all sloping according to ADA requirements, and then we go through with the contractor, and he actually kind of come to an agreement on everything that we need to do according to ADA. So it's quite a process. You probably saw the marks that I had all the way back in March. I think I originally did it. There was snow on the ground when I was doing it. Then we came back through and we just did white again. I marked it again in probably in May. Those faded, did it all over again, and we did it again in white for the contractor. So it is a process. It's quite a bit of work, but it's a part of our necessary requirements to fulfill the ADA specifications according to ODOT.
Yeah, and again, as Bob said, there is a lot of work that goes into this, and we're not just doing this because we want to make improvements to people's properties. We're doing this because it's a federal requirement, and I know there's been other communities, larger communities that have not put them in, and they've came back and been fined. So it's something we've started doing probably about 10 years ago. The requirement came out. Unfortunately, it does come out of the resurfacing money, so our money doesn't go as far. However, again, if we don't do this, then we're paying a lot more in the long run, so definitely needed.
Let's take a quick stab at some of the streets that we're doing on this, if we can do it by memory. Amy, I want to say, I'm going to start off. We're doing Broadway from Park Avenue all the way to Robinson. We're also doing Broadway from High to Ash Street. Then we're going to be doing High Street from Caldwell all the way up to Washington. We're also going to be doing Westwater Street and Jackson. We'll be also doing Franklin from High Street to Ash Street. And we'll also be doing Franklin from Ash to North Street. Also, we'll be doing Gill Street, Robinson, and Scott. And on the south end, we'll be doing Summit, Y Street. Boy, what is those last two? I just can't remember. They're off of Clark, and we also doing Wilson and Blaine as well. Not too bad. Wasn't plan on saying all those. Give you a little idea of what your streets are going to be done. If you're going to see we're doing construction work, this type of work around you, you can pretty much assume that we're going to be there. We're going to be doing resurfacing, so we're going to have a nice road that you can be driving on very soon, and you'll be notified when that comes out through our alert system, and also other notifications through a press release within the city of Piqua.
That was impressive, Bob. I could not even begin to name all those streets, so good job.
Yeah.
We did mention that the contractor, and you can see them working behind us. Bob, go ahead and tell us who the contractor is. And I know the cost of this project was around $290,000, so as you can see, a pretty large project. You want to tell us a little bit about the contractor?
LJ DeWeese.
Okay, and they've done work in the Piqua before, correct?
Yes, they have. They did a streetscape for us on Water Street. They actually did the handicap bridge lifting last year. And it was, they did the Washington resurfacing project back in about, I think it was probably about 10.
Okay, so very good contractor. We were excited when we heard that they got the job. Very professional, have a lot of crews so they can be in and out, and they are making very good progress on this job. Once they're done, at that point then we can begin working with the contractor who's going to be Walls Brothers, who will be doing our resurfacing. So once we get all the ramps in and LJ DeWeese moves out of town, we will bring in our resurfacing and be able to start that process. Probably won't be for another month yet, maybe month and a half. Unfortunately, we like to follow it up quicker. However, we did not know how long it would take for the contractor to finish the ramps. And so in order to give Walls time to schedule, we're probably a good month out yet.
Yeah, providing what LJ is saying, we should be done by no later than September. And that's pretty good, as long as we don't get a lot of rain come up and they lose rain days, but that's what we're looking at. He's doing very well, and he's outperforming the schedule right now. They're very efficient, and they're doing very well, so it looks like we're moving along pretty well.
Well, if you want, Bob, we'll head down the street and we'll take a look at him actually working and see what's going on. We'll be back.
Okay, we're back. We jumped a block down the street here, and I have with me Jeremy Hench. Good to have you with us, Jeremy.
Thanks, Bob.
Tell me a little bit about this project, duration, how long you've been in business, how well you like working with the city of Piqua, the engineering department's so great, all that stuff. Just include all of it.
Been in business about 55 years. I think there's 113 ramps on this project and around 75 catch basins. Probably take us about 6 or 7 weeks. And Piqua, so-so. Just kidding, you can edit that out. Working with Bob's great. Do we need to start over, Bob?
No, that's great. He looks great for 55 years old, though, doesn't he? That's what I was going to say. No, actually, you're third generation?
Fourth
generation of this company, so it's pretty neat. It's been a family-run business, and like I said, we work with LJ quite a bit on several projects, and it's gone very well, and we enjoy working with them. Tell us a little bit about the work you're doing right here, Jeremy.
We're going to replace the catch basins first at this corner, and then we're going to place a new curb ramp here. I think each corner at this intersection gets a new curb ramp. So that's pretty standard for this job. We're just going down the streets that are going to be repaved. So, just a little side note: my grandpa was raised in Piqua, so that's kinda
really?
interesting. Yeah.
So that means you're part of family. I mean, you are.
Yeah.
You're not so sure about that, are you?
He is LJ DeWeese.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you taking time off the hoe here to say a few things on your company. We enjoy working with you and hope to continue to work with you a great deal in the future.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much. More later. So, huh, Amy?
Yeah, I think he meant to say Piqua is the best, and
Yeah.
it's so much better working here than Tip. But,
Yeah.
I'll say it for him.
I think he hit his head. He wouldn't, but I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. Additionally, those streets that didn't come to mind are going to be Leonard, Willard, and okay, yeah, more back on that later. Okay, what we're looking at here is one of our catch basins. It's right here on, we're actually on
Franklin and Green. Northeast
and
corner.
Franklin, northeast corner. And this catch basin actually needs to be sent back because it has actually been in the wheel track of the street itself. We're pushing it back towards the curb. People in this area, so this is really bad, and we're going to try and get it taken care of so it's back against the curb like all the others. Just try and make those modifications when we're here to get those things taken care of and make it friendly to people that are in the area so that those things are being taken care of. It just makes it kind of nice. Additionally, I would like to also notice here, I know some trees have been taken out here, Amy. Those were ash trees here at the Catholic Church that people have been taken out, and we're going to be removing our trees here for our ash tree removal that we're going to be sending out here real soon. So be on the lookout if you're going to be getting some paperwork. Those residents have been getting ash trees removed and hazardous trees. You're going to be seeing that happening this year as well. Going to be happening before our resurfacing, so we have all that done before our resurfacing project coming up. So Amy, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Well, you mentioned trees, Bob. One thing we did forget to say is the contractor's required to hire somebody to come in and trim the trees prior to resurfacing. I don't know if any of you watched the resurfacing process before, but they bring in what's called a milling machine, just a real tall machine with a chute that grinds up the asphalt and dumps it into a truck. However, we do not want that to come through and be the one to trim the trees. So we have the contractor come in prior to, and he has to then have all the trees trimmed to a certain height. And also with the paver and the dump trucks with the asphalt, we try to be proactive, and then instead of trying to have the trees damaged, we try to come in ahead of time and do that. So that will be happening as well out here.
So we have a lot of work before snow flies this year to take care of, and it's usually like that. We have a lot of things we need to take care of: the tree removal, hazard tree, ash trees, also the tree trimming before our resurfacing. Then we'll be doing finish all of our catch basin. We also have additional projects that's downtown through Main Street that we're doing new catch basins and ramps through that through resurfacing of a different program. You want to talk a little bit about that? We have some time here, Amy.
Sure, that's the Main Street Main Street resurfacing project. As Bob said, that's a separate contract. We receive federal funding for that, and that one has project limits from Riverside Drive south on 25A out to just past Aesthetic Finisher. So that one, the handicap ramps are actually completed, and they will begin resurfacing that this week. They're going to be doing all that work at night. But again, completely separate project. I know people are getting anxious for these streets to be resurfaced. However, we just have to they're two separate projects, and we have two separate contractors, and their schedule is a little bit ahead of this one.
Yeah, we have a lot of work. It's been a rough winter, trying to take care of much as we can based on the budget that we have, and we're really doing a lot this year and hope to do more in the future. So those are some of the things we're doing annually as a part of our resurfacing programs. We do try to do that, but additionally we have some new things we're trying to move into for 15 as well, to try to provide as much service as we can based on the amount of revenue that we have each year. Amy, would you like to wrap it up?
Sure. Well, first I want to thank Bob. He's been out here on these handicap ramps with the contractor this whole time. And again, as I mentioned, Bob was out this winter measuring all these up, marking them out. So he spent a lot of time to make sure that they're going in correctly and that the city's getting the best job during the construction. So, and I think the guys like working with him out here. I've heard him called a few names so far, and I think they're all good. Yeah. But thank you, Bob, for your work. And we appreciate the patience of the residents while we're doing this. Hopefully you'll be very impressed with the finished product.
Thank you again, Amy. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you very much for watching. For Bob Grazer and Amy Havener, thank you very much for watching.